Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Iron Port. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, World PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services Limited, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This week, Iron Port sat with two officers from the Ghana Revenue Authority to discuss the GRA's Tax and Good Governance Month and what they expect every citizen to know. Let's take a listen.
So let me begin with you, Madam Omotayo, but if you can go into details and tell us what the Tax and Good Governance Month of the GRA is about.
Tax and Good Governance Month. We have decided to choose the month of April as our Tax and Good Governance Month. Why are we choosing April? We are choosing April because it is an important month on our calendar. We do ensure that it is required by law that every individual who has transacted business is supposed to file a tax return.
Right.
And then for entities too, they are supposed to file a tax return. A section of the law indicates that 4 months after conducting business, you are supposed to file a tax return to us. Hence, we have dedicated this month to increase awareness on the need and importance of filing tax returns. There are so many benefits of filing tax returns.
Right.
So that is why we are here today. It is our responsibility to educate our cherished taxpayers. We believe that if we educate them, they will voluntarily comply with the tax laws.
So you mentioned there are so many benefits of filing tax returns. What are some of these benefits, if you'd oblige us?
So one of the benefits is that you would end up paying the right taxes that are due you. Another benefit that you will obtain is personal reliefs. There are reliefs that the government gives to us. Example is marriage relief. We have child education with a maximum of 3 kids, one child earning 600 cedis per year. So if you have 3 kids, it means that you are going to earn 1,800 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
And also there are allowable expenses that you incur during your business. It means that you would have to deduct all these allowable expenses such that it will reduce your taxable amount.
Right.
So if you don't file your tax returns, you would not be able to enjoy all these benefits. The same way that a taxpayer has rights, it means that there is an obligation for the taxpayer. All
right. I'll still stay with you just one more time and find out from you. I have here, a person is required to file a return on income at most 4 months after the end of the basis period of the person. What does that mean?
Okay, so let me explain that. Thank you so much. For individuals, when we say basis period, we are looking at the calendar year. The calendar year is January to December.
Right.
But for entities, companies, we are looking at the accounting period.
Right.
So they would have variations. Most of them use the calendar year, but some also have overlapping years. So if your basis period ends within another year, it crosses to another year, then it means that if, for example, if it ends in June 2024, then it means that 4 months after June, you are required to file your return on income to us. But for individuals especially, they don't have any choice.
Right.
They are using the calendar year, which is from January to December.
Awesome. All right, so let me come to Mr. Kogo and find out from you, apart from filing the tax returns, which you seek to promote, basically with the Tax and Good Governance Month, what other activities are lined up for this particular month, if you would indulge us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Taxation by itself is complex and technical, and it needs people to assist them. So this month, we have scheduled a lot of stakeholder engagements where tax clinics are also going to be organized, and all our regional officers have been trained to be able to interact with taxpayers, to take some feedbacks from them about challenges that they face in trying to file their tax returns and make payment in order to avoid penalties and interest that may accrue.
Yes.
So a lot of activities have been lined up: webinars, stakeholder engagement, tax clinic, and a lot of educational activities to promote understanding of the taxation, because taxes are complex and technical and need to be, taught to taxpayers to promote voluntary tax compliance.
I'm told these tax clinics will be done in all regional capitals.
Correct. They are going to be done in all regional capitals, and office managers are going to mount the clinic and going to ensure that taxpayers are properly educated on their rights and their obligations, and also challenges that they face in filing their tax return. They provide solutions to them.
We are in the Greater Accra region, so where will the tax clinic be held here in Accra?
Okay, so we have a lot of taxpayer service centers around. We have the largest taxpayer service center, which is the LTO at Circle. We also have the Teshinungwa taxpayer service centers at Denta Medina. So all Accra, in general, we have the 27 taxpayer service centers, and in all we have 60 taxpayer service centers across the country.
Wow.
So we're going to organize these tax clinics over there. And we're going to mount some, clinics even at the shopping malls. Okay, Accra Shopping Mall, Teshi Shopping Malls. So these tax clinics are also going to be, mounted over there.
Right. Yes, you want to add something?
Yes, we've started last Thursday in collaboration with the Society of Women in Taxation, of which I'm part.
Okay.
We held a tax education at the Dome Market, where we had to educate the informal sector on the need of filing their tax returns.
You mentioned that some of these tax centers, tax clinics, seeks to help address some of the challenges that people face when they are filing their taxes. What are some of the challenges, common challenges that you encounter people face when they come to file their taxes? What do they report to you? What do you gather?
Okay, thank you very much. Taxes are the lifeblood of every nation.
Yes.
And it forms a significant portion of Ghana's revenue.
Absolutely.
And for that matter, anybody who faces challenges in filing a tax return must be addressed to.
Absolutely.
Some of the challenges that they face is the due date for filing the return. To them, some of them feel that it falls on the weekend, some of them falls on holidays.
Yes.
Are due to, file before the weekend or file before the holidays. Okay, but the key issue is that a taxpayer portal has been, formed, GRA has gone cashless.
Right.
And for that matter, we are filing our tax return using the taxpayer portal.
Absolutely.
www.taxpayerportal.
Right.
It's an online self-service portal that has been made available to the taxpayers.
Right.
By a click of a button, they can file all their tax return. And the return is basically a declaration of income that they have earned in the past.
Right.
Every individual earns income, be it in the form of employment, business, or investment.
Sure.
Employment in the sense that he's an employee, at the end of the month he receives income.
Absolutely.
And business, he's availing himself for service or selling goods and therefore earning income.
Yes.
Investment in the sense that he has rented some property out of which he's earning income. That is passive activity that he's undertaking.
Right.
These people ought to file tax return, make a declaration formally to the government or the appropriate authority that these are the incomes that I've earned in the past. Therefore, I ask whether it is the correct amount of tax that I have paid or I have overpaid my tax. If you've overpaid your tax, then a refund ought to be given to you. So the due processes are put in place for a refund to be made available to you.
Right.
So about the challenges, they ask, the return that they have filed, when there is overpayment, do you refund it to us or how do they go about it? These are some of the challenges that they face and the solutions that we provide for them.
What's the process they can use to access their refund?
Okay, thank you. So the first thing is they have to file a tax return. If you have not filed the return, how will we know that you have paid taxes in excess? So when they file the return, we would also have to examine the return.
Yes.
If they have made overpayment of taxes, they have within 3 years for them to file for a tax refund.
Right.
If it's truly that they deserve the refund, first of all, we'll sit with them. They are taxpayers, so we'll have to sit with them. If there is a need for, if they have any outstanding tax liabilities that they have not paid, then it means that we would have to use it to offset it. And if they have to top up, they will top up.
Yes.
If there is an excess, we would have to also give it to them. But it needs, they have to write.
Right.
We don't just give tax refunds.
Absolutely.
We have a tax refund account. They have to write to us. And then the Commissioner General would assess it and then make sure that if really the person deserves
There's
it,
merit
we
in
would,
the claim,
we would give it to him. Within
Right.
90 days, we would give your money back to you.
Who is it that is qualified to pay or to file a tax return, so to speak?
So to answer to that, like I said, the individuals. And the individual, we look at self-employed.
Right.
We look at directors of companies. We look at expatriates.
Yes.
And we look at, chief executives,
Yeah.
managing directors of business. They are individuals,
Right.
and they ought to file return
Yes.
to the appropriate authority.
Right.
We also have corporate entities,
Yes.
okay? The companies, the trust, the partnership. These are entities that are formed with the aim of making profit.
Right.
So they ought to disclose this income to the appropriate authority. There are companies limited by guarantee.
Yes.
They also ought to file return. And the return due date is on or before the 4th month
Yes.
of the following year.
Yes.
So these are entities and individuals who by law enjoins for them to file returns.
Returns.
So those were two officers from the Ghana Revenue Authority impressing on Ghanaians to honor their tax obligations. Iron Port returns after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefeel. Goil, good energy. Ja, dia.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
The Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, CILT, Ghana, has successfully hosted its maiden CEO's breakfast meeting focused on the transport and logistics sector. Held under the theme, Competitiveness of Ghana's Logistic and Transport Sector, the event brought together industry leaders for an insightful dialogue on the future of the sector. The breakfast meeting has been designed as a strategic platform for executives to exchange ideas, address key business challenges, explore growth opportunities, and engage in open discussions on critical issues shaping the logistics and transport landscape in Ghana. In his address, the Minister for Transport, Honorable Joseph Bukari Nikpe, underscored the importance of stakeholder collaboration in overcoming the sector's pressing challenges and enhancing its overall efficiency and impact.
Together with you, we will ensure the necessary reforms are undertaken so that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's vision of resetting this economy will be achieved. I therefore encourage you to share your insights on best practices and emerging trends that will benefit the resetting agenda and to the larger growth of our economy.
Speaking at the event, President of CILT Ghana, Engineer Mark Amwama, emphasized the Institute's commitment to fostering a culture of collaboration and knowledge sharing among CEOs. He noted that such engagements are crucial for identifying sustainable solutions and advancing the transport, shipping and logistics ecosystem in Ghana.
The pivot of this whole program is about an open kind of discussions, pointing out and ensuring that we all come into a kind of a common, agreeable action points. These points were made available and to the policymakers, to the government who are supposed to get these things implemented. And CILT has taken it upon itself to continue interactions with the government and the policymakers who are expected to be able to action these particular points that this particular meeting is going to come out with.
Industry experts also weighed in, sharing insights on practical strategies to enhance the competitiveness of Ghana's transport and logistics sector on both regional and global fronts.
The maritime sector is all about how we position ourselves to take the advantages in the blue economy. He talked about liner shipping, he talked about the shipyard and dry dock. Only recently I have presented a paper in which they were wondering that how come we want to export something to Cameroon and it's so expensive? And I said it will continue to be expensive. You know, because the facilities are not there, you are not running a liner service.
It is also necessary for us to realize that Ghanaian industries need to learn to upskill, create volume, and that we need to have a pricing and fair strategy for everything we do, because you cannot have a proper pricing strategy outside the rules of origin or the ETLS, which already exists in ECOWAS, or the rules of origin, which is part of the AFCFTA. Because if we take a competitive advantage it forces many industries to locate here in the export processing zones we will create, and that is how we get the competitive advantage we are talking about.
In the case of the AFCFTA, we've worked on the regulatory framework for the trade, and we assumed that the main problem we were solving was the tariffs. So if we remove the tariffs between the African countries, then trade will flow. And now we have made people to agree on it. I will not go into the policy aspect of the collaboration between the policymaker and the policy taker. I will assume that we all agree that it's a good thing.
I believe that with the new law that Ghana Shippers Authority has come out with, it should do a lot of good to these administrative charges to bring an end to it. And I believe that Ghana Shippers Authority will be in a better position to do so with their new law.
The Port of Tema continues to reinforce its position as West Africa's most advanced trade gateway following the arrival of MSC Türkiye, one of the world's largest container vessels, on Saturday, April 26, 2025. This historic event comes just days after the port welcomed MSC Diletta on Easter Sunday, April 20, marking a remarkable week for Ghana's maritime sector. With a capacity of 24,346 20-foot equivalent units, MSC Türkiye now stands as one of the biggest container ships ever to call not just Ghana, but the entire sub-Saharan African region. The 400-meter-long, 61.3-meter-wide vessel is part of MSC's Megamax 24 class and features cutting-edge technology that enhances fuel efficiency and reduces carbon emissions, further reflecting MSC's commitment to sustainable shipping. The vessel's arrival in the port of Tema is part of MSC's Africa Express service, a dedicated shipping route that connects key ports across Asia and Africa. A ceremonial gathering to welcome the port call of this giant container ship saw the presence of Minister for Transport Joseph Bukari Nipe, the Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanya Kulono, Director of the Port of Tema Tebon Zumah, Commissioner of Customs Brigadier General Ashong Anan, CEO of Meridian Port Services Mohammed Samara, Managing Director of MSC Ghana Gamisi, and other top public officials and captains of industry.
I want to tell the business world that Ghana has the capacity, we have the facilities, we have the human resource base to be able to handle, no matter what size your ship or your vessel will be. Ghana has that kind of capacity to handle whatever you want to do in the maritime trade. And we are prepared to continue to provide and improve upon our facilities.
The government of Ghana through GPHA, together with our valued partners, MPS, has transformed the landscape of our port infrastructure. What once was a vision is now a reality.
The earlier ship took her 17 days to come from Southeast Asia all the way to here. This is the fastest and the most efficient transit time that we have seen over time. A couple of years ago, Ghana was covered through a 40-day to 50-day transit time. Today, it's under 20 days. This is a big achievement, Your Honorable.
MSC has always strived to connect West Africa and especially Ghana to the rest of the world through its extensive maritime network. Today, the arrival of the 24,000 TEU vessel with a length of 400 meters reflects the vision that he has always had to connect Africa with the rest of the world.
A ceremonial handing over of the key to phase 2 of the expansion project by the project contractors to the MPS team also took place on the same day. Just a few days earlier, MSC Diletta had set a record with its maiden call to Tema, boasting a capacity of 23,964 TEUs. Its successful berthing by the Marine Operations team, led by the Harbour Master Captain Bramo Tevia, highlighted Tema Port's readiness to handle vessels of such scale. The back-to-back calls of both vessels underscore the strength of Tema Port's infrastructure and operations. Terminal 3's deep draft key, wide turning basin, modern gantry cranes, and advanced terminal operating systems are now enabling the regular handling of ultra-large container vessels up to 24,000 plus TEU capacity. Ghana's emergence as a premier destination for luxury cruises was vividly demonstrated this month when the country's ports welcomed 3 distinguished vessels in quick succession. SH Diana arrived at Tema on Easter Sunday, April 20, with 170 guests and 129 crew. The very next day, April 21, she made history as only the second cruise ship ever to call at the GPHA-managed Elmina Fishing Harbour. 185 passengers were transferred offshore by Zodiac boats into waiting coaches for excursions, confirming Elmina's safety and convenience as Ghana's third cruise stop destination.
Since we left Cape Town, then from Namibia, from Angola, from like we stopped in Pont-Noir in Congo, in Saint Tomé Principe, in Guinea Equatorial, we've been trying our best to buy some local flair to put on our menus. As being a corporate chef Julian, one of the importance, and Elmina is no different than the others, and we really want to explore. And also our guests get to see what's that part of Ghana. And yeah, I mean, it's a whole new experience.
We came together, put our heads together, had to plan on how, first of all, we will ensure the safety and security of our visitors, which are the passengers, secure the vessel and make sure that they had an experience, a lasting experience that will live with them throughout their stay here on Earth.
There has been excitement around Elmina and Cape Coast because if you look around me, the local economy sadly has come up, and it's because of the excitement of these vessels that are visiting. Tourism boosts the local economy.
Ashanti Africa Tour Company, whose tours span Ghana, Togo, Benin, Sierra Leone, and Côte d'Ivoire, added that they had arranged shore excursions for SH Diana and many fellow vessels along the West African coast.
We take them to sites such as Shah Hills, Kakom National Park in Cape Coast, and then also in Ivory Coast, where Grand Bassam in Ivory Coast. So you name it, the tourist sites that are at every destination that we visit, we make sure that they experience Ghana. It's not only Ghana sites, but the food, the people, as well as the activities.
The very next day, Easter Monday, April 21, Tema welcomed the Silver Wind, sister ship to Silver Dawn, which called on March 22 as part of her West Africa leg on a world tour itinerary. With a length of 162.6 meters and width of 21.4 meters, she was one of the largest ships yet to call at the port. On Sunday, April 26, the Iron Port team were present for the return of Crystal Symphony, which last visited in December 2024. At 238 meters in length, her repeat call highlighted Ghana's rising popularity as a cruise destination on the west coast of Africa. Tebon Zumah has officially assumed office as the new director of the Port of Tema following his appointment by President John Dramani Mahama last week. A brief handing over ceremony was held on Friday, April 25 at the headquarters of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, where Sandra Opoku formally passed the mantle to Tebon Zumah. A lawyer and chartered accountant by profession, Tebon Zumah brings over 2 decades of leadership experience in finance, legal affairs, internal audit, maritime operations, logistics and infrastructure development within Ghana's ports and shipping industry. Until his appointment, he served as the general manager for finance at GPHA, having previously held various management roles at both the Tema and Takoradi ports. His expertise is expected to drive strategic growth and innovation at Tema Port, positioning it as a critical hub for regional and global commerce. At the handing over ceremony, Sandra Opoku expressed gratitude for the support she received from her management team and urged her successor to maintain strong relationships with staff and stakeholders.
I had a good team, management team that I related to. And so that's what I wish for you, that you relate well with them. And then the stakeholders.
The new director of Port, Tebon Zumah, thanked the Director General of GPHA, Brigadier General Paul Seydou Tanya Kulono, for his leadership and the seamless transition process. He also expressed appreciation to Sandra Opoku for her guidance.
The support so far, the handing over was smooth. We went through one by one, and there are some pieces of advice she's given here. She gave them to me, and I appreciate that.
The Director General, Brigadier General Tanya Kulono, commended the outgoing director for her dedicated service and sacrifices and encouraged the new director to stand firm in his new role.
First of all, we want to thank Mrs. Sandra Opoku for your stewardship and then the work that you have performed to GPHA and the country Ghana. Mr. Zumah, I also want to take this opportunity to tell you that it will not be easy, but stand firm. I know you can make it. And to those of us who are here witnessing, as much as possible, the support that we gave to Sandra, let's extend same to him so that he also succeed. In the end, if he succeeds, GPHA will succeed, Ghana will succeed.
As part of efforts to bolster maritime security and operational oversight, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA has successfully installed new harbour monitoring equipment and tracking systems at the port of Tema. This upgrade forms part of a broader initiative to enhance surveillance and elevate the security standards across Ghana's ports. Previously, the port relied on Vessel Traffic Service (VTS) and VTIMS systems to manage vessel movements and maritime safety. However, these have now been augmented with the installation of a sophisticated security software that enables real-time tracking and detection of potential threats or abnormalities within the port environment. The new system not only strengthens current capabilities but also lays the foundation for a comprehensive, unified security framework. It is designed to seamlessly integrate with systems such as CCTV and access control, significantly improving situational awareness and incident response. With this upgrade, the Port Authority can maintain 24-hour surveillance of vessel movements within the port. On the sidelines of a training session for port control staff on the new equipment, a facilitator from Magal Solutions underscored the critical importance of building local capacity to operate and manage the system effectively.
This will allow them also to actually realize when a vessel is parking or docking at a place it shouldn't, or any other violation of breach of security will be reported directly to that software. Also, Fortitex, being a very robust and flexible software, will allow the port in the future to connect and upgrade the system and add to it any other systems.
A participant of the training program also shared his experience and thoughts on the value of the session.
This is going to expand our horizon and also give us opportunity to meet our target as signalists. Looking at what we have been learning here, we could see that now we can cover all our waters. And then also, our security system also is going to be back.
It's time for schedules of vessels in the port, those at Takoradi and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you may need to know to clear your goods from the port. We have your comments next.
Karim Kuri says, good evening, Iron Port. Wonderful program. Please, I'm a taxpayer in Bulga. I tried filing my company's return via the portal, but the year of assessment column is only limited to 2023 to 2024. What do I do?
About the filing of returns.
Yes.
Like I said, we have due dates for filing return.
Right.
Okay. So in the year 2025, 30th April,
right,
for individuals, okay, sole proprietor, we are expecting them to file return for 2024.
2024, okay.
The immediate past year, 2024. Now, if you don't file the return for 2024, penalties are imposed.
Right.
And the penalties are punitive in the sense that it is 500 Ghana cedis for default in the payment, the filing of return, and 10 Ghana cedis any day that the return is in default. If you want to file, you are ready to file, we should help you to file. So you go to the portal and click the year of assessment in which you want to file your return.
Yes.
And that information populates for you to file.
Right.
If you don't key in the year of assessment, then you cannot file.
So it's now time for the word or phrase of the day segment, as well as the safety and health tips.
Gate in. Gate in is a term used to describe when a container enters the terminal. The shipper must have made a booking with the shipping line before the container is allowed to enter the area. Maintenance. All lifting appliances and loose gear should be maintained in good working order and in efficient condition and good repair. Maintenance, including lubrication, should be carried out on a regular scheduled basis in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations and operational experience.
This is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Iron Port. Thank you for watching, and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week, and also follow us on our various social media platforms on your screens.